you join me in the cabin of the 2019 BMW M850i. I'm excited about this car because the name recognition, the 8 Series from the 90s was a truly spectacular vehicle. It was opulence epitomized from the 90s. Big, low, sleek, two-door with a V12 or V8 engine and a manual gearbox. It was fantastic. This car is different, certainly, and really it's more of a direct successor to the 6 Series Coupe for BMW, but it's just better in every way. This is a true Grand Tourer. It's got a big motor, big power. The styling of the exterior makes an impression. It's a powerful stance. Low, sleek, wide. BMW's grille, yes, it's growing, but on this car, for whatever reason, it looks better integrated with the size of the vehicle. The rear end, and rear ends on two-door coupes is, for whatever reason, very difficult to do for designers, even within BMW's own design camp. And yet on this car, it just works. It's aggressive and elegant at the same time. The interior is upscale as well. The orientation of the dashboard, the stitched leathers, even here on the steering wheel, the thick M Sport steering wheel, big digital display for the driver, a 10.3-inch infotainment system that works pretty well. You know, there are better systems out there. The crystal gear selector and stop-start button, and I mean, there are so many upscale details. The metal mesh center trim piece. There's so much going on in here. BMW clearly made an effort with this car, and now we just need to go drive it and see if that impression comes across from behind the wheel. I have a good feeling because even though this car doesn't have a 12-cylinder engine like the 90s 8 Series, it does have a pretty good twin-turbo V8. 4.4 liters, 523 horsepower, 553 pound-feet of torque, 0 to 60, 3.6 seconds. That's spicy. The brakes are good. The steering is supposed to be good, and we're going to find out here in a minute. The ride quality, the last 5 minutes I've been driving this car, has been very comfortable, but still feels sporty. This one has standard rear wheel steering assistance for cornering confidently. It also has anti-roll bar system that helps keep the body motions to a minimum. I'm gonna pop it in sport mode here. We've got a couple twisty sections ahead of us. Dig into that throttle. How about those brakes? Yeah, good brakes. Makes a neat noise too. Yeah, really good brakes. This is a 4,500-pound car. It's braking very, very well. Yeah, so as you heard, it makes a very good noise, and it's properly fast. To move a car of this weight, you need a lot of engine, and this one, the torque comes in from 1,800 RPM, peak torque comes in from there, hangs on until like 4,500 RPM, so you've got power all throughout the rev range. It's quick and super smooth. The steering feel, great initial response. Mid-corner, there's not a lot of feedback, but that's kind of BMW vehicles as of late. You're just not getting that same sense of road feel as you did when they were hydraulic systems. Their electronic steering systems are getting there, but they're not there yet. How is it as a Grand Tourer? How comfortable is it? It's quiet in here. It's really nice and quiet in here. The visibility is a bit of an issue for me. I've got a taller torso, so usually finding headroom's a problem. Not in this car. The headroom is great. I can lower my seat enough, but just kind of the surrounding, it's very pinched, pancaked interior impression. And so when I'm looking out of this front windscreen, it sort of reminds me of the Lamborghini Huracan with that little enveloped front visibility. And it's just the fact that this A-pillar crossmember is so far forward, it just cuts that down to not the best, not the most confidence-inspiring front visibility. It cruises so nicely. I really do believe you could take this on a long trip. It has the power for it. The fuel economy isn't that bad. Get something like the low 20s combined. I'm impressed by this thing, certainly. I wanted to like it just based on how it looked. I loved the concept of the 8 Series before it actually came out. I love the production car. I wanted to like the car simply based on the fact that the 90s 8 Series was so good, and I felt like the 6 Series had been kind of a letdown, so BMW needed something to make the car impressionable again, to bring back that credibility. I feel like they've done it. This is a good one. It's $112,000. That's something to keep in mind. But it is significantly cheaper than the other Grand Touring rivals like the Aston Martin DB11, the Bentley Continental GT. Sure, if you look at the Porsche 911 GTS, that car is sportier. It just is. It doesn't have as much weight to lug around. It's more entertaining in the corners. But which would I choose to take on a road trip? Probably this car right here. So that is the 2019 BMW M850i. Quick driving impressions. And yeah, I'm impressed. Way to go, BMW.